I'm Michael Davis, and I'm going to show you and verify that the images that I put out there of the x-rays are actually indeed actual images and contained on this original file from Kaiser Permanente of Santa Rosa, California. I'm going to put this disc that contains the C-spine images on it in the computer here. You see it going into the computer. Now we'll go to the computer. As you can see, a dialog box is dropped up for the patient data on that disk from Kaiser, and I'm going to open it. And in here is the M file labeled eFilm that they say to click on the back of that disk sleeve. So I'm going to open that. We're going to wait. So yes, we're going to approve it to open. And there's my file, and we're going to view it. Okay, these are the two x-rays that we're primarily interested in. And the first one I'd like to bring to your attention is the one on the left. And as you can see, there is a being in this file here, and it is right in this area here. And what I'm going to do is I'd like to open up another file, which I can't zoom in this computer with their file, but what I can do is open up the file where I can zoom it. I have down here saved, which is right here. And I'm going to open this contrast one first. Okay, if you look down here, I'm going to enlarge this image. You're going to see by the right to the left of the C-spine, this is the C-spine here, to the left is an alien being. You can see it in there. It looks, you can see the head come around like this, and it comes around the face down here, the left side of the face, then it comes down along the chin, goes back around and loops around. Okay, in here you'll see an eye, which is right in here. You can very clearly see the eye. There's even a white refraction and another eye over there. And these two eyes seem to be staring directly at the x-ray machine. I don't know whether it's protective or what it is, or it feels like it needs to be alert. In other words, it's watching what's going on here. And you can also see the mouth here. And if you look very carefully, there's two little nostrils, one there and one there. The mouth and two nostrils. Now what I want to do is, because I'm going to bring it back down because I want to show a couple things here. Okay, if you look over to this portion of the screen over here on the to the right of the C-spine, I'm going to bring this over to the center screen so you can see it better. This is a biological alien implant here. And the purpose of these implants is to track, to adjust biometrics, and to basically keep tabs on their alien-human hybrid. Okay, and that's what I am, an alien-human hybrid. I have an implant in there, and we'll get to another implant that I have too, but not yet. Also, I want to point out in this image, there's that being over here again. Then we go to the top of this image. If you look in the center here, right up here, and right at the brainstem, this is the brainstem, right? This is the really bright area here. If you look closely, you will see an alien being right at the brainstem. There's an eye, there's the nose, there's a mouth, the chin comes down like this, up along the face, comes up and around the head, and it's there. You can see the recess of the eye here as it comes around like that. And the same thing on the other side. There's a definite pattern. Once again, the eye, the nose, the mouth, the chin, and you can see it there. And that is on my brainstem. And that showed up and these x-rays. Okay, we're going to go back to the original x-ray because I want to point out something that I'm going to bring up in a second. Here we are back to the original x-ray that I cannot enlarge and I cannot adjust contrast, which I'm doing in these images, just so you know. So I do adjust contrast so I can bring things out, and you can still see this being in this. It's not even enlarged. You can see it over there, and you can see the other one up there, and you can see the implant over here. Now I'm going to point out this one, which is also C-spine, which is a wider angle of my C-spine that includes my nasal cavity up here. Okay, and I'm going to go to another file I have down here of that right here. Okay, where I can enlarge it. This is the same file. Now I'm going to enlarge it. See, I've enlarged it. If you look carefully here, what I want to point out in this is you can see, first of all, these are biological implants. Both of them, the last one I showed you and this one, are biological implants, because if you'll notice, the fillings of my teeth are metallic, so there's no metal in these, or no earthen metal here in these, because these shine according to the x-rays. We're using the x-ray machine, okay, and they show up. Okay, above my mouth, this is my teeth, my gums, and then there's the upper part where my nasal cavity comes in. My nose comes into the back of my nose is my nasal cavity that goes up like this and then up. This cavity up here is supposed to be empty, and if you look at comparisons of other nasal cavities, they're empty. This is supposed to be empty. In here is a wedge-shaped implant, and it's a biological implant. If you can see it closely, it's a wedge-shaped implant right there, and they put this in my nose using a device that had looks like this one I'm presenting here as an image, and it had prongs on it, triangular shaped prongs, and it went up in my sinus, and those prongs went, as it went up, flattened down along the rigid pipe, or that rigid type pipe thing that they're attached to, then went up into my sinus, and then they opened up and released this wedge into my sinuses. That was the best drawing I could show of that device. But as you see, that wedge was released in my sinus. So we've got an implant here, and we've got another implant right there, right here. We've got a biological being right there, very clear. And we've got, I'm going to go to another contrast so we can bring out the one up here. We've got another being up here because that's important. There's a being there, the eye, like I pointed out. We have 1, 2 beings that I see, and possibly more as I examine this, but I'm not going to bring them to anybody's attention because they aren't, I'm having a difficult time actually isolating them. But these two have isolated, and this is an implant, and then there's once again an implant up in my nasal cavity. Okay, that is evidence. This is evidence that's admissible in court, and evidence that by itself means nothing, but when put together, it tends to prove the fact I am an alien human hybrid. And this, nobody else, I've not seen this in any other x-ray. And as a matter of fact, when I went back, because I thought my neck was broken and they said it wasn't broken, I had the doctor review the x-rays, and when he did review them, when he had this on his screen, he was examining this x-ray, and he had a really puzzled look, and he just kept examining it. My wife and I were both sitting there and watching him, and I said, "What's wrong?" He goes, "Nothing." And I said, "Well, we have a really puzzled look on your face. What's going on?" He says, "Just there's something there." And I go, "What is it? Cancer, or is it a break, a fracture? What's going on with me?" And he goes, "Nothing like that. It's just something I can't explain it." He said, "I just can't explain what's going on here. It's just really odd." And I said, "What is it?" He says, "I don't know." He says, "I can't explain it." He says, "But you have no breaks. You have no." He says, you have some fractures," and he pointed out that my neck had compressed discs in this area somewhere, and basically he never once pointed out this or this. I later asked about this to my other doctor, and she says, "I can't explain it. I don't know what it is." She cannot explain it. So this is evidence, like I said, admissible evidence, and it needs to be shared. Thank you for watching.